everyone, it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, it is so nice to meet you. In today's video, I wanted to do a video for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So I posted on my community tab and on my Instagram for you guys to leave me some questions so that I could do a Q&A today, and that's what's happening. So if you guys want to ask questions for the future, be sure to follow me on Instagram so that you guys can be ready whenever I ask for them. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel because I will post on my community tab again and that will show up in your subscription feed. So be sure to subscribe down below, and without further ado, let's just get on into the question. I'm so sorry, I should have been more prepared. Also, I have my ceiling fan on, so if you can hear it, I'm really sorry, but it's so hot in my room right now that I can't not have it on. Okay, the question that I have for you guys. So the first question is, what has been the hardest part of marriage so far? So if you guys don't know, I got married in March of 2019, so I've been married for like a year and a couple of months now, and I would say that the hardest part of marriage so far has been probably like, I don't know how to explain this, but like coexisting and like remembering that he exists. And I don't mean like remembering that he exists in a way that like I forget about him, but for example, like in this room right now, my purse is on the floor, I have another bag on the floor, I have laundry on the bed, I have another bag on the floor, I just have stuff everywhere, and I need to be respectful of him and I need to pick up after myself. And I think that learning how to not just live with that person but like think of them when you're doing stuff, so just like being mindful of little things like that. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to remember for myself because I'm super forgetful, but he's so thoughtful and he like does stuff for me all the time, so I guess just being more thoughtful of the other person. The next question is, what made you start YouTube? I was in high school and it was my senior year of high school that I was like really into watching YouTube. Basically, Netflix was blocked at my school, and because why wouldn't it be? And I was a senior, so we kind of just had Wi-Fi there. Like it was pretty new having Wi-Fi in the school, and we had YouTube. YouTube was not blocked, so I started watching YouTube videos because I was in yearbook. Let me back up. I wasn't just watching YouTube for the heck of it. I was in yearbook, and at the end of the school year I didn't have anything to study for because I was in AP classes. So AP exams are at the beginning of May, we got out in June, so I started watching YouTube videos because the yearbook had been turned in, so there was nothing to work on. I didn't have anything to study for because I'd taken all my AP exams. I was kind of just playing a waiting game at that point, so I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. And then my fast forward to my freshman year of college, the spring of my freshman year, I got a DSLR camera because I wanted to get into photography, and I knew that was something that I enjoyed because I was taking media classes at school, and I knew that I was gonna have to start taking some sort of media classes and I was gonna have to do some sort of video editing at some point. So I wanted to give YouTube a try, and I was just inspired by like the OG 2014 YouTubers to start my YouTube channel because I started in 2015 and I have been doing it ever since, and I absolutely love it and I do not regret starting my channel one bit. Like, not one bit at all. The next question that I got is, have you ever considered making just one type of content? For example, cleaning, lifestyle, beauty related, or do you think you'll always continue to make the kind of content that you want week to week? So I made my YouTube channel for me, and I want people to watch my videos because that's why I put them on the internet, for people to watch, and I want people to enjoy them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm making this Q&A right now, is because I want to be able to have people get to know me. But at the same time, like, my YouTube channel is mine and it doesn't belong to anybody else. I'm not being paid to say anything, so I do think that I really want to just create the content that I want to make. Obviously, I do want to kind of like narrow it down so that I have a consistent audience, an audience that likes the content that I'm making. And if you have been watching my videos for the last couple of weeks, you'll notice that I've incorporated a lot more vlogs, a week in my life, a day in my life, weekend in my life, that kind of thing, because I really enjoy vlogging and it's something that I have fun editing. I like to be creative with it, and it allows me more freedom to do what I want. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. The next question is, did you live in an apartment before moving into your home now? Yes, I did. So I graduated from college in April of 2018, and then like literally like the last day of April, and then I moved back in with my parents after college into their house about an hour and a half away from where I live now in my hometown. And then after about a month there, I signed a lease on an apartment where I live now in the same city. And then I knew that I was gonna be getting engaged soon. Like, it had been talked about, like I knew it was coming, I just didn't know exactly what day it was gonna happen. So I knew that I was gonna be preparing to be married soon. So I lived in an apartment with a roommate. Her name is Kayla. She was awesome. She's getting married soon and I'm really excited for her. But it was a really nice experience being able to live on my own, paying all my bills and things like that without Mason, because I just think it was a good learning experience for myself. It's definitely financially is so much easier being married, but like at least for us it is, but because we have 2 incomes paying for 1 apartment, if that makes sense. Also, owning a home is cheaper, if you did not know, than renting. I was paying about $600 a month for rent, and our mortgage for a 3-bedroom 2.5 bath townhouse is $900 a month. So but yeah, I did live in an apartment. He lived in a house down the road from me, but I enjoyed living in an apartment. It was a nice experience, and it's not something that I'll ever really have to do again, at least for right now. Maybe in the future as a transition phase, but like for the most part we're probably not gonna have to do that. So I think it was a nice experience to be able to live in an apartment. One asked, what's the best book you read in 2020? So when I read this question, I immediately thought about the book. I have read a couple of books this year, more than a couple. I read about 35 books this year, so I am gonna pull up my Goodreads account because that's where I keep track of the books that I read. I've read a couple of really good ones, but I'm waiting on it to load. I'm really into like thriller novels, mystery novels, but for some reason this one, like this is not, and I think the reason why it's probably the best book I've read so far is because I didn't expect it. I just downloaded it because it was on Kindle Unlimited. And so let me read you the description. It's called Fire Sparkling by Julianne McLean. And after a crushing betrayal by the man she loves, Jillian Gibbons flees to her family home for a much needed escape. But when she finds an old photograph of her grandmother in the arms of Nazi officer, Jillian's life gets even more complicated. Rattled by the discovery, Jillian attempts to unravel the truth behind the photos, setting her off on an epic journey through her past. 1939. England is on the brink of war as Vivian Hughes falls in love with a handsome British official. But when bombs begin to fall and Vivian's happy life is destroyed in the Blitz, she will do whatever it takes to protect those she loves. As Jillian learns more about her grandmother's past, the old photo begins to make more sense. But for every question answered, a new one takes its place. Faced with the truth that is not at all what she expected, Jillian attempts to shine a light not only on the mysteries of her family's past, but also her own future. This gorgeously written, multi-generational saga is a heart-wrenching yet hopeful examination into one woman's struggle to survive. So I think the reason why I liked it so much is because it's a lot different than most of the books that I read. I either read like young adult romance novels, think about like John Green book, and books that are like thriller novels and things like that. And then another book that I read this year that I wanted to mention is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. A Thousand Splendid Suns is not a new book to me. I read it when I was in high school. It was a book that I had to read for my senior year, so I read it in like 2013. So it's been a good 7 years since I read that book for the first time, but I decided to purchase it off of Amazon, and honestly it's my favorite book of all time. And since I reread it in 2020, I wanted to mention that as well. It's about these 2 girls that share a bond unexpectedly in Afghanistan, and it just basically goes through both of their lives. It's so good. Born a generation apart and with very different ideas about love and family, Miriam and Layla are 2 women brought jarringly together by war, by loss, and by fate. As they endure the ever-escalating dangers around them in their home as well as the streets of Kabul, they come to form a bond that makes both sisters and mother-daughter to each other, and that will ultimately alter the course of not just their own lives, but the next generation. The next question is, what is your #1 tip for small channels who are trying to grow? My #1 tip, I have 2. They're like equally important, I think. One, they're consistency and engagement. And I know that's what everyone says when they're talking about growing a channel, but the reason why everyone says that is because that's what works. So first, consistency. I started to see real growth on my channel whenever I started to post consistently, and not just consistently like once a week or once a month or whatever, but when I started posting on the same days every single week. So I used to post a video every single day, but I would get so excited about a video. My upload day was Friday, but I'd get excited and I'd post it on Wednesday, or I'd schedule it and then I'd get really excited and like make it go live early. And I would do that a couple of times, but then I decided I wanted to start posting twice a week, and I was gonna do Fridays and Sundays, and then again would get excited, I would post 2 videos in a row, or I don't know, I just wasn't consistent about the days of the week that I was posting. I started posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday in December, and ever since I started doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, regardless of anything, I have been so consistent about those days specifically that I have seen so much growth. Now there have been a couple of Fridays where I have missed an upload, or a Friday here and there where I uploaded on Saturday, but for the most part I have uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, Friday since December of 2019. So for 6 months now I've uploaded 3 videos a week, and that is probably where I saw the biggest amount of growth. But the other thing that I think that's important is engagement, and I don't mean let's support each other or this is a great video, I have a channel too, let's support each other. None of that BS. Watch the video. Watch a video from small creators to big creators to people in between. If you're watching this video and you leave a comment, I have a channel too, I'm not going to reply to it. I'm probably going to delete it, or it's going to go into my spam folder and I'm not going to watch it. But if you comment on my video something that I mentioned in the video that like you'd only know from watching the video, then I'm going to know that you actually watched the video and you took the time to engage with my content, and I might go to your channel, I might subscribe to your channel if I like your content. And so I comment on other people's videos as well, and I never mention anything about having a channel unless it's like about YouTube or something. If they like 50 video ideas for blowing up your channel, I'll say something about like it's helpful, I need video ideas or whatever. But if it's like a Q&A video, like don't comment that you have a channel, because I'm not gonna respond to that. The next question is, what is one thing in YouTube that you regret doing? So I don't think there's anything with my YouTube channel that I necessarily regret doing, but there are things that I regret not doing. So like I said before, engagement is super important, and I do regret not engaging sooner. I also regret not starting my channel sooner. I started my channel in 2015, and for a lot of people, that's way sooner than a lot of people. I started my channel 5 years ago, like that's insane. But I think that I regret not engaging in the beginning and not really taking it that seriously in the beginning. And the last question I'm going to answer today is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? This is a loaded question because I feel like if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said I'll be graduated from college, I'll hopefully have a job, hopefully be living on my own. I'm graduated from college, I'm married, I have a full-time job, I'm making YouTube videos. So in the next 5 years, I hope I'm still making YouTube videos, because like I said, it's something that I love. It's something that I can do to release my creative energy, because my job is not a creative one. But I hope that my job will be creative in some way, shape, or form. And if I'm not doing something that's creative for my like traditional job, I hope that I'm only doing it part-time or not full-time, not 40 hours a week, because I really want to turn social media into a career one day, whether that's being a social media manager for a company, for an agency, or doing it for myself. I'd love to have my own brand, just like personal branding, I guess. That's something that I've been working for years, but I've only just started to take it seriously in the last couple of months, and it's something that I really want to move forward with. I've done brand collaborations over the last couple of years, and I've done them for free. I want to get paid for brand collaborations. I want to make money with YouTube and with Instagram and just with myself, with my brand. I want to freelance, I want to do photography, I want to do graphics, I want to create content that people love. And also I hope that in the next 5 years we will have moved out of this house, turned this one into a rental property for people, so using our current house as an investment property, because it's a house that we live in now, so I don't know if we could call it that or not. But I'm hoping that we'll live in a different house, because this is kind of like our starter home. This is definitely not our forever home. And a lot of the neighbors in our neighborhood rent their places, and I know that we're one of the few people that actually own the home and we live in it. So I'm hoping that we'll be using this for some sort of investment at some point, and I'm hoping that we'll live in closer to our forever home if we're not in our forever home already. And hopefully in 5 years I'll have a kid. If I don't have a kid in 5 years, hopefully I'm on the way to having a kid, or expecting a kid, or trying to have a kid, something like that. Like I said at the beginning, if you don't know, I'm married. We got married last year. We have always said we wanted to wait and be married for about 5 years before we start trying to have kids. And so hopefully at that point we'll either have one, be expecting one, or trying to have one, somewhere in the realm of having a child, somewhere in there. And which is crazy to say, because if you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I never would have thought that that was possible. But I also wouldn't have said I was going to be married in 5 years ago. So yeah, that's crazy to think, but I'm an actual adult, so that's weird. And I could have a kid now if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below, and follow me on Instagram, because like I said, I want to make a career out of that one day, so I need your help to get there. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.